Welcome everyone to episode 10 of the Rollcast. I'm James, joined as ever, flanked by the
leader of the Rollcast, Joseph.
Yes, the leader, Joseph. Happy New Year everyone, hope you had a Merry Christmas. Hope you got lots of games, lots of presents. And it's been a while.
It's been a very long time now. How long has it been since the last Rollcast?
I'm going to go ahead and say 3-4 months.
Something like that. Along those lines.
Yeah, we had planned to do a Halloween one, then we'd planned to do a Christmas one, and now it's in the new year. And here we are.
From now on, we're just going to have to do them whoever turns up.
Yeah, well, it's everybody's schedules all over the place, but you know, we're not IGN, we're not GameSpot.
Yes.
Yes. It's a labour of love. Small indie games website. You could say.
Reviewing what we want, when we want.
Yeah.
Not being influenced by bribes.
Well, that's it. The whole premise of Try Rolling was always, for people who are new to the site, it was always to create a site which is basically run by actual gamers who actually play games, and not just people who are like, oh yeah, that new Fallout 76 is a really great game.
Yeah, that's wonderful. 9 out of 10. Or even 8. If anyone gives that 6 out of 10, even they're pushing the boundaries. They're being bribed. Giving it 6 out of 10.
I think it's like a 4 max.
If that.
Yeah,
it could be a mobile game for all I know.
Well, let's not get bogged down with Fallout 76. Let's just put that in the bin and move on.
It's like mentioning Brexit.
Nah, well. We don't want to go down that rabbit hole now. Basically, happy 2019.
Yeah, happy New Year, guys. Welcome into the world of hopefully a good year of games as opposed to last year where we had.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say.
I think PlayStation did well, but yeah, all in all, when you look at years like 2015 where we had The Witcher 3 and Bloodborne and all these epic titles.
Yeah,
and
there's been.
It's just been a bit naff.
I know that you liked Red Dead 2, but I'm one that didn't particularly like Red Dead 2. So for me, the year's it's not had a game where I'm just like,
that's the one.
This is a game I could play for a year. So I've kind of had to mill around on various other games which I don't particularly enjoy.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of listeners and a lot of people around the world would heavily disagree with what you've just said.
With Red Dead not being great? I mean, we'll get into that when we get to the game.
Yeah, we'll get into it. So, what have you been playing first, Joe?
What have I been playing?
Yeah.
As I say, there's not been particularly many.
No.
New games. One of the games, Monster Hunter World. It's one that I finished very recently, actually. I've talked about that on past podcasts. They're always adding new content to that game, running events and that kind of thing. They add new monsters, like they'll bring new monsters from past games in the genre, throw them in there, adapt them into the current Monster Hunter World. So there's usually something new going on. So if you tend to go back like every couple of months, you can go back in, get another few hours of gameplay out of it. So
they're continually supporting that game then.
Yes.
Good.
It's not one you can just keep playing forever once you finish the grind and platinum it or whatever. I've got all of the Steam achievements depending on your platform of choice. I wouldn't suggest it on PC.
So you've technically platinumed that game then, if it was a PlayStation, if you did it on PlayStation.
If it was a PlayStation game, yeah. Well, I played it on the PlayStation because the port across to the PC was not the best of ports, and Capcom should probably shoot themselves for that.
Okay.
At least in a few times.
Well,
how badly that port was done.
Yeah, well, one game that I have been playing and that I've heard is excellent on PC at the minute and is a Capcom game is Resident Evil 2.
The demo?
Yes, the one-shot demo. I tried to stream it a couple of days ago. If you tried to watch that, I'm sorry. Very
You see, I love the premise of that demo. 30 minutes, you get one shot, then it deletes itself off your system, and there's nothing you can do about it.
No.
And it's a horror, which is perfect for that kind of thing. You're like, You go in, you're stressed, you're already anxious, you're going to get jumped, you're going to get bitten by zombies, and you're more anxious because you have this constant ticking time limit.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happens. Is there a clock in the top corner?
No, but yeah, it's exactly how you just described it. I wasn't constantly doing it, but I kept finding myself pressing start just to check how much time I had left.
Which is wasting time. Does it keep ticking when you press start as well?
Yeah, because I mean, I never played the original, so I'm going into this completely fresh. I've played a lot of other Resident Evil titles, but with this game, I knew I didn't have all of the time in the world to explore, obviously, because you've got 30 minutes.
With sitting here, you don't want to be exploring with it.
Exactly. I found myself like going into bathrooms looking for ammo and stuff, and then I'm like, "What are you doing?"
No. Just run.
But no, yeah, I'd pause it and it'd say like 14 minutes left, and I'm like, "Oh, I've got to get a move on." But yeah, it's terrifying. They've done a really good job. I don't know who has taken the helm of the Resident Evil franchise at Capcom, but they've pulled it out of the dirt. They've dragged it out of the mud.
It was getting worse and worse, man. Resident Evil 4, amazing game. Resi 5, decent game. Multiplayer was good. The multiplayer was what made it great.
The story was ridiculous.
Resi 6, it starts just turning into cars.
Yeah, well, my thing with Resident Evil 6 is they tried to do too much, too poorly. It was like, let's throw 10 different storylines in all at one time, and you get like 15-minute missions in each, and it didn't work.
Yeah. Which I didn't enjoy the storylines as a thing, like especially Leon's. That was pretty enjoyable going through that and doing it in multiplayer. If they'd have done that well, that'd have been great.
It was the most horror-esque part of it, I guess.
Yeah, well, it was the most nostalgic, wasn't it? You're in a city and there's, an apocalypse. That's where zombies should be. That's why I'm excited for Resi 2, the remake, because you should be surrounded by fucking a city of 1 million people, all that could be zombies, and you'd never know what's going to happen.
Well, I think credit to Capcom, I think if anybody is allowed to still be able to use zombies as a kind of like a cash cow, it should be them, because they were the original pioneers, really.
Yeah, I much prefer the slow shambling zombies.
Yeah, well, it's frustrating because I did want to stream it, but you do get that in Resident Evil 2.
So they are slow, crappy, falling over
slow, very, very scary zombies. Like,
nice.
It's weird. It takes gameplay. It's Resident Evil 4, so you'll like that. But atmosphere, it's a mixture of Resident Evil 1, the original, or the HD remaster, whichever one you've played, and say like Resident Evil 7. So it's very close camera, very tight corridors, suspense all the way through, and you just get you either get jumped or there's like a spooky. It's not like. It's hard to explain. It's not jump scares as such, but you're constantly on the edge of your seat because you're like, there's going to be a zombie around this corner, and then there isn't, or like there's like a flash of lightning and you think you see something and you haven't, and it's like, oof.
It's that. So in what you've seen of the Resi 2 demo, is a zombie like a fearsome enemy in terms of, you don't just see a zombie and the instant you see it, you're like, pop, headshot, dead.
Actually,
if it gets you, you die.
I'm glad you actually said that, because I thought my first encounter with a zombie during the demo, I was just going to be like, handgun, bang bang, goodbye. No. They are much harder to deal with than you think.
Why is that? More bullets or?
Yeah. First of all, it's the atmosphere before the engagement that gets you. So you're on edge already. You're on edge already for the encounter. Then when you actually do get jumped, it takes more bullets than you think it does.
Yeah. See, that's what makes a good horror game. Horror games are normally fundamentally and mechanically very easy. It's the atmosphere and the fact that you're panicking, shaking, and you can't aim for shit. Running away, no idea what to do. That's what
just nailed it. Like, it does have the action feel of Resident Evil 4, but the setting it's right. The setting is 100%. I'm confident that this is going to be great because
I'm just hoping they didn't take the best 30 minutes, like kind of PT style, and just go, hey guys, this is what the rest of the game is.
Well, I think they let you complete the first section of the game if you're quick. I managed to do it, but just.
So is it actually the first section? So it's from the start, or is it from near the start?
I managed to complete it up to the cutscene where the demo ends with, I think I had about 4 seconds to spare.
Okay.
So I was in a mad.
It's the first zombie your character ever sees.
Yeah.
In this demo. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, obviously for people who want a bit of backstory, it's Leon Kennedy, complete fresh-faced rookie, before he becomes a grizzled badass.
When it was actually fun to be.
Yeah. But
Resi 4 though.
Yeah. Badass. Yeah, he's completely he's a complete noob, but it just sets it up perfectly. And I mean, like I say, the tone and the atmosphere of the game's brilliant. The combat's great. I mean, the toughness of the zombies, like you say, they take more ammo than you think they do, and then once you actually drop them, they go down. But sometimes they'll get back up, and you think you've killed them, but they're not dead. Like you'll walk past them and they'll get back up. And it's
grab your ankles, be an ankle biter.
It's
that's what's freaky. Do they ever come at you when they're on the ground?
Yes.
Okay. And because that's what's freaky that they're missing from a lot of them.
What I found,
especially if you like shoot off the legs. I don't know if there's any dismemberment in it. I assume there isn't.
There is.
So you can shoot off legs.
I did it in the demo. You can get a shotgun, and I shot off both zombies' arms and its legs, so it was just a torso and a head, and it was still coming.
And it's still coming at you.
So
yes, man, that's good. That is a good sign, because Dead Space games like that, one of the reasons they were so difficult and so scary was because of the dismemberment. Like you shoot off his legs.
It's still coming at you.
He's coming at you with his little arms flailing along the ground. You shoot off his arms, and he's like wriggling along.
That's it. I mean, for a game like Resident Evil, all you have to do to make it scary is make your enemies more persistent, because then you're more scared of them, because you're like, if 3 zombies come around that corner, I'm screwed.
Well, it's persistence and variety.
and atmosphere. Yeah. So like if it's a tight corridor building and you know there's creepy zombies that are just gonna maul you around the corner, it's that sense of dread. And I think games like Resident Evil 7 that came out last year, that nailed it. It's going in.
It's the random enemy placement as well. So it's the variety of the situations that you encounter them in, and it's not knowing where they're going to come from. So not always being around the same corner, or in I can't remember, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 1, when the dogs jump through the windows in the mansion, when you're going along the corridor, and it's considered one of the scariest parts of the game. Yeah, that only ever happens once or twice in the entire game, and it's because of that variety, how the enemies appear. That's what makes it scary.
But no, I had a great time playing it. I'd recommend anybody give it a download, give it a play. It's free. It's 30 minutes. I think you can get around it by creating multiple accounts for multiple goes, but I just had the one go, and I'm like, it's the perfect marketing tool for Capcom, because it gives you a taste of what to expect, and it's a good taste.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm looking forward to the game, definitely. I didn't get to see the demo, but I'm going to leave that. I think I'm not going to watch the half an hour, so that I'm experiencing it completely fresh when I play it.
Well, like I say, I mean, I didn't explore everything that there was to do in the section, because I was running out of time rapidly, so I had to pick up the pace a bit, but I'm looking forward to going back in and taking my time a bit more with it. But yeah, that game launches in Feb, so not long to wait.
Yeah. Sounds good. Oh, really? Feb? Fuck, I didn't realise it was going to be soon.
Yeah, 1 month, and we've got Resident Evil 2, so...
Damn. We're going to have to fight over who gets to review that one. And that might be both of us reviewing that. I'll probably stream that, honestly. Yeah. Does it come out on PC? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
PC, I'll definitely be streaming that.
That's why I mentioned it earlier, because a lot of people were saying that it runs and looks incredibly good on PC. So
that's good. And at least they've developed it from the ground up for PC as well, so it shouldn't, in theory, be a terrible port. No. We'll find out, in the near future, but high hopes for that one then. High hopes. Another one that I've been playing. So I've been playing a game called Everspace. Everspace it's out on PS4 now as well. Actually, I think it was originally a PC game. Basically, you're a spaceship.
Yeah.
You're a mission. Well, you're a pilot on a mission, and you have to make it through various sectors to the end of the game, and fight your way through. You pick up stuff like on the way. It's like a fighter sim, so it's like a shooter exploration kind of thing. But as you're going through, if you die at any point, you're dead.
Okay.
You have to go back to the start. So you gain experience, you can upgrade your ship, and you keep that experience. But you always start with the same crappy weapons, same crappy armor, same crappy shields.
You just have to keep learning and learning.
It's kind of an instance, so you're learning, and then what you upgrade is like the amount of money that you get, and so on and so forth.
So eventually you're going to make it to the end, it's just persistence.
Unless you're really shit at the game, in which case you'll never make it. But yes, eventually, in theory, you'll make it to the end because you're slowly getting better, and you can go through on a different difficulty or whatever. But I've really been getting into that type of game, is where I'm leading to. So the games where once you die, you're dead. Dark Souls-esque, but once you die, you're all the way back to the start of the game.
Massacre.
And to me, it's just there's nothing beating that feeling of when you actually finally manage to do it, because it feels like an actual achievement. You know that you've been good enough to get from here to here, and you've not failed once, because that's how good you are.
Nice.
Similar to one that isn't on the PS4, it's a game called Path of Exile, where it's like Diablo.
Right.
And each season, which I don't know the length of time a season is, it might be 4, 5, 6 months. Everyone starts from level 1. And you go through the game, it's like Diablo. You get to the final boss and there's various things to do after that, but you can play hardcore mode, and if you ever die, your character gets wiped.
Wow.
So everyone's starting from level 1, and it's kind of like who can get the furthest without dying over the 5-month period.
Whoa.
Which is really cool to me. I think more games could do with doing things like that, because it adds such replayability.
It's definitely different. And I don't think really you'd catch many AAA companies doing things like that.
They're fairly large. Path of Exile is a fairly large game. If you go on Twitch, it'll be one of the most active games.
Well, it's happening. Yeah.
But I think that they should do more.
Well, yeah. It's the death of the AAA, really. You look on Twitch. What's the top game currently being played? Spoilers for Fortnite, obviously.
Fortnite.
That definitely didn't start off being a AAA game.
Fortnite was AAA, I'd say.
It was close. It was not its original concept, I don't think, but
I don't know. I was one of the noobs that played it when it was in its original concept. I think Epic Games that make it. They were a fairly large gaming. It's not like they were indie. Put it that way.
They've got larger than now.
I still find that so funny that they put in like a little gimmick of a battle royale mode,
and
it's literally the biggest thing in gaming, and will be for some time. I reckon it'll die off fairly soon, but he's got his fingers crossed for the
What can I say?
You just want Blackout to do better. I reckon Blackout will die off soon as well, but that's one you've been playing as well.
It is, and I'll say this: I would trade Blackout for the campaign back. I'd much prefer a traditional campaign to Royale.
You did like your story.
To a battle royale. But what I will say is, coming from somebody who doesn't like the genre, because I tried Fortnite, I've tried a few other little ones, but it's not for me. But I was incredibly surprised at the quality of Blackout. I thought that it was, at its core, it felt like Call of Duty, but with a twist. I know obviously they're just trying to ride the battle royale money wagon all the way.
I think it was good. Like, they implemented it well. They did a beta. They didn't fuck people off with it and get them to buy it and then fucking them over. I think they should have just done a campaign as well, though. I think they have enough resources that shouldn't have been.
You are right. Yeah, there should have been a fully fledged campaign in the game. But I'm enjoying the battle royale. I'm enjoying Blackout. I play it quite a lot, just because it's fun to play with. With friends, getting a squad.
I imagine it's much fun with friends.
Yes, a lot. I mean, you can play it solo, but it's a bit more tense. I think if you go in with like a squad, you can have a bit more fun with it. But one of my favourite things to do in Blackout is unlock characters, because you can unlock like iconic characters from the Blackout series by doing in-game challenges, which I think was a cool addition. I do enjoy that. So so like if you want, for instance, if you wanted to unlock Dempsey from the Zombies crew, you have to go to a specific part of the map and pick up the Juggernog bottle, and then the bottle has a description of something that you have to do in game to unlock the character, and I think that is a cool. Gives you something to do. It's like a game inside a game. It's and
they're always the funnest games.
Yeah, well, exactly.
The games inside the games.
I have been having fun with it. Like the gunplay, especially, is solid because it's Call of Duty. The gunplay is always going to be decent.
Yeah. But the biggest games have all come from games inside games. Yeah. Fortnite, the original idea for a battle royale, came from a game inside a game. The original idea for League of Legends came from a game inside a game.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? You get lightning in a bottle and it's just boom. But I did an article on Blackout, which is it was my top 5 weapons. Basically, disregard that article.
We should probably just remove it.
To be fair, if you do click on it, a lot of the points are still valid, but I've just added a comment at the bottom. So if you go all the way down to the bottom, there's a comment from me that basically it's like an updated list.
Alright.
Basically, what they did is they nerfed the SDM sniper. It was too good. Like, you could just melt people with it. So that is now not as great as it was, but there's still a few really good picks. Like I'd say all assault rifles you can't go wrong with, and most of the sniper rifles are good.
What about submachine guns? They're always the best. Okay, an MP5. Oh, back in the day.
Classic COD 4.
Good times.
No, I mean, I think for submachine guns you've only got really one viable option. It's the Spitfire, because it shoots so quick. So if you're at close range, you can shred people. But to be honest, if it's super close range, I'd rather have a shotgun. Like,
that's always the case. It's the case in Fortnite as well. I don't know if they've nerfed it, but it used to be the case.
Well,
you carry a shotgun,
range, you might as well just have a shotgun.
Yeah, because in Fortnite you can do gimmicks, like you can swap between weapons instantly, so you don't even have to reload. I don't know if you can do that kind of thing in COD, but you kind of just, you're like, you shoot with your sniper, then you swap to your shotgun, you shoot with your shotgun, then you swap to your other shotgun. It's just like bang, bang, bang.
Gunfights.
Because you're just like, bang, bang, bang.
No.
And then,
it's the build.
You often find that with the case with PC games, but that's actually what makes people enjoy them more. I think it's weird, but I find there's a trend, especially on Twitch and things like that, and people playing it in a professional setting, where if there's weird, funky mechanics, it does a lot better. Which is why games like League of Legends, Fortnite, and so on seem to do a lot better than others on Twitch and things, because there's such a skill gap between the highest and the lowest because of all these funky little things you can do to slightly increase your efficiency.
Yeah. Cool.
It's a trend, and I see it. What else have you played, James?
The only other game really that I've been sinking a lot of hours into is obviously Red Dead Redemption.
Obviously.
Yes. I know you're not 100% sold on it, but for me, the campaign, it does have some shaky moments. Like there's parts where the writing gets a bit, but if you stick with it the whole way through, I can't fault it really. Looking back, it's a great story. I think that the protagonist, Arthur Morgan, he's probably the best video game protagonist I've seen since probably Geralt.
We can argue about that later, but yeah.
Well, he's an incredibly strong protagonist. Like I say, I haven't felt that sucked into a game's world since probably Witcher 3. So it is a really decent, decent attempt. The online lets it down a little bit because it's not, well, it's in beta, but it's not fully fleshed out yet. There's a lot of content and a lot of missions that are still to come, I think.
You streamed that the other day.
Yeah.
I remember watching.
Yeah, well, that was, I think I did a 2 or 3 hour stream, and that was just trying to make up for me not being able to stream Resident Evil. But yeah, I'm not great at it online because there's a lot of, with Rockstar games, there's a lot of, if you either grind or pay for the best stuff, you can destroy noobs very, very easily. But
great.
I still had fun. I still had fun with it. There's a lot of customization, a lot of things that you can do with friends. But I mean,
microtransactions.
Yeah. The story though,
Get them out. Get them out of games.
The story was great.
Just don't. Yeah. Well, the only complaints I've heard is that it starts off really well, and it's like there's tons of different missions. Each mission is different. You're doing different things in each of the missions. And then once you hit middle-ish of the game, because you've already done everything, there's nothing new, and it becomes kind of like
you are right.
More fetch and do quests and so on.
Yeah, well, it's a weird one because, without spoiling too much of the game, I can see what they were trying to do with it because everything that's everything that you do in game fits the narrative. It's just parts of it seem a bit bare bones at times, and it's like there's a certain section in the game which doesn't really make any sense. But when you complete the game and look back on it, you can kind of see it. But it's the writing does stagnate a little bit towards the middle of the game.
And then you say it picks up towards.
It ramps up like it definitely kicks back in towards the end. But definitely the opening of Red Dead. It's a very strong opening.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard the start of the game is platinum standard, but it's the middle of the game that lets it down. It just depends the extent of which that it lets it down.
It does a really good job of building up the side characters as well, because you don't just engage with the gang as a whole, you engage with each individual member, and you build relationships with each member, and it just bolsters the whole story really. It is good. I fully enjoyed my time playing it, so I can't really complain that too much. It was a good experience. I'd recommend it anyway.
You did then.
Yeah. Especially if you played the first one, there's no reason not to get it.
Yeah. Well, I've been wasting a lot of my time on games like League of Legends and things, honestly, which don't really change that much. Not something that you talk about much on a podcast. When I start streaming properly, I'll start branching out into games that you actually start and you finish, as opposed to those where you're just clicking next game.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost that one. Oh, next game. I'm sure I'll win this one. Then you want to kill yourself.
That's the choice in games now. Really, you've either got your competitive multiplayer games where you're like, right, I want to go in and dominate the competition today, or you've got your more relaxed games. Or in Resident Evil terms, it's definitely not relaxed, but you've got your more
I miss them though. We need more good storyline.
Yes, completely agree.
Start and finish games, unless everyone's just trying to jump in on the money wagon, which is competitive.
Yeah, for me, 2019
arenas.
Video game industry New Year's resolution: less battle royale, less microtransactions, more story player. Single player game.
Not even battle royale, competitive arena games. We have enough.
Yes,
of
we
these.
do.
Let's slow down. Like, if you come up with an innovative idea, sure, go ahead. But we don't need any more. I want a good amount of Game of the Year worthy storyline focused single player and multiplayer games, as opposed to all of this shit that we got in 2018.
Yeah, well,
it's why when we're trying to come up with like a Game of the Year,
it's getting harder and harder.
It's difficult because
we can't really say.
I can't say, hey, let's give Fortnite Battle Royale Game of the Year. Even if I loved that game, it's a Battle Royale. You don't give that kind of thing Game of the Year. It's got to be start and finish games. And I didn't particularly like Red Dead. I thought, it's decent, but I wouldn't consider it Game of the Year worthy material, in my opinion. So we're probably gonna have to give separate games of the year here.
I think it's Scott's Game of the Year.
Yeah, Scott, who couldn't be here because he's a very busy man, currently working in London, I believe. One of his multiple side projects. But so it's Scott's Game of the Year. So his vote goes to that.
I think so,
yeah. We need to find out what Tom's vote is.
Fallout 76. Oh.
We haven't mentioned that word here, it's a curse word.
Yeah.
But the only two storyline focused games, in my opinion, a Game of the Year were the God of War and then Monster Hunter World, which came out very early, came out in January 2018. So I actually didn't even realise that one came out this year, but since it did, those are my two choices, honestly.
Good.
Game of the Year, those are what I'm choosing between.
Good picks. I mean, it was an okay year for Sony. I think they released a few exclusive titles that were pretty on point, like say with God of War. But for me, my Game of the Year, it is a Sony exclusive, and it's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yeah. Oh,
Marvel's
really?
Spider-Man. I think
came out of nowhere.
I think they nailed it.
Yeah, no, that's a good choice, to be fair. So I never got around to playing Spider-Man, which is why it wasn't on my list. But
I think it was one of those games where, they did hype it up a little bit, but I think everybody was a bit reserved because of previous Spider-Man titles and previous superhero games.
Yeah, I never expected that.
But I think, honestly, Insomniac even surpassed like Rocksteady's Batman Arkham level. I think it goes beyond that. It's great, honestly. Everything in it, the voice acting, the characters, the combat, the web swinging is awesome. You've got to have good web swinging in a Spider-Man game.
Came out of nowhere, Spider-Man. I forgot what even came out this year.
Yeah, it was a great game.
Game of the Year.
You should play it.
I'll definitely get around to playing it. Maybe stream it. If it's on, I don't think it's on PC. It's on PlayStation.
Yeah, it's exclusive, I think.
Yeah, Sony have done definitely the best out of the consoles.
Yes.
And PC I just consider separate, honestly. You shouldn't be comparing them. There was a good number of remakes, obviously they're not going into Game of the Year. Like Secret of Mana, really good game if you ever want to play a really chill RPG. One of the best games on, the NES and such.
Oh, so it's quite an old game then.
Yes, and they remade it, gave it new graphics and such, and put it on the PS4. Oh. But that's a really decent game. That's really good if you ever get some spare time and feel like playing a rather cutesy RPG. Which I imagine gets fairly somber and sad. But
Dark Souls Remastered?
That was a terrible remaster. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I love Dark Souls.
Terrible remaster, brilliant game.
Brilliant original game. Yeah, but
they didn't do too much with the remaster, apart from you can now play it on the current generation of consoles. PC got shafted. If you're a PC guy, it's completely pointless. But consoles, you can play it on your most recent console, which is okay, I guess. It's Dark Souls. It's good, but it's not.
They put some more lighting in. They've made Gravelords work. That's like literally.
They put a new bonfire in.
Yeah, which they shouldn't have done. They should have taken some out or something. Yeah. I wish they'd add like what I missed and what I think was good in the second one was the Champions Covenant.
Yeah.
The one that made things harder. I don't know why they don't put that in the other ones because I love that.
I'm literally the only person who thinks that it's a good idea.
I was like, wait, I can make this game harder?
Sign me up,
yeah. Go for it. Yeah, I love that shit. You couldn't summon anyone, I remember. You weren't allowed to summon during boss fights. It was basically like you're putting on the the anime where they put on ankle weights and things and like weights all over themselves, and then when they take them off, they're super powerful. That's what you're doing. I love that, but they should put that in the other games as well.
Are you looking forward to Sekiro?
Yeah, I'm loving the gameplay that I've seen, the movement, the verticality, the stealth options, backstabs and such.
It's going to be a lot more story driven and a lot more action orientated, but I think they're going to do a good job with it.
I'm just not going to consider it a Souls game.
No,
it's a similar type. But
I think it's going to have a Souls feel, but obviously it's going to play a lot more like, say, games like Neo.
If people go in expecting Souls, I reckon they'll be disappointed because it's not going to be like Souls. Like that's just not going to happen. I don't think the lore and the types of lore will be the same either.
Well, I mean,
things like that.
I think games like Bloodborne, I don't really consider Bloodborne to be a Souls game because I think it's different enough to be considered its own thing.
I think Sekiro is going to be much more different.
It's going to be even more different than Bloodborne.
It's going to be the difference between even more different than Neo actually. I was going to say difference between Souls and Neo, but Neo has nowhere near as much verticality as Sekiro is showing. It's nowhere near as fast paced as it looks either. So
just the amount of gadgets and stuff that I've seen on Sekiro, you can dart around the map
and the combos that you can do. The Souls games have never really had any sort of combo system, so
it looks good though.
It's gonna be good, yeah. As for my choice, so your choice of game of the year,
Spider-Man, definitely Spider-Man.
Mine, God of War is what most people are going to say. Very good game, definitely. It's definitely up there. They're kind of batting at each other, but I would probably take Monster Hunter World just because of the length of gameplay time that you get from it, and that putting that into consideration. I'm definitely going to take that instead because I like a long game.
And a challenge, clearly.
And a challenge, yeah. God of War won't give that much of a challenge. It's one of the reasons I'm really looking forward to Devil May Cry.
Yes.
Because that will definitely give anyone that wants a challenge because of all the difficulties. They always have a difficulty mode on Devil May Cry where you die in one hit, but everything else dies in a normal amount of hits, like it would on very hard. So you got easy, where it's the story mode, normal, hard, very hard. You die in one hit, and everything else dies in one hit. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. And then the hardest, you die in one hit, everything else is as if it's on.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
That's the impossible difficulty.
Is that the Dante must die difficulty?
Probably, yeah. I think that is. And the one where everything dies in one hit, but you also die in one hit, is Heaven and Hell.
Right.
And that's what they call it.
It's one of those games, the series Devil May Cry, I really want to get into it because looking at it's so unique in its premise, the story is it's literally hell on earth and this guy is hired to kill demons. It's cool.
You play it for the combat, honestly.
But I think that
the story is cool
the story is interesting, but
the humour is kind of part of what makes the game. Yeah. Dante.
It could be like a Netflix show. It's got that kind of, you know what I mean?
Almost with the humour and storyline and such. It could be. Don't do that, Netflix.
Well, I'm a bit apprehensive of the Witcher. I don't want them to kill.
They shouldn't do it. It can't be good. It can't be you're gonna disappoint fans. There is literally no way to make fans go, oh, this is better than we expected, because they've just come from The Witcher 3,
which is a 10 out of 10 game.
Yeah. You can't make a show and expect it to not be hammered into the ground by fans. So choose something that... Why do they never choose something that's terrible and adapt that instead? I know no one would go and watch it, but it'd get good reviews. Take Fortnite, make a movie out of it. Battle Royale, Fortnite, the Hunger Games.
The Hunger Games, but cartoony, and you can build things out of thin air.
Yeah, and it just starts with them all doing the floss dance, and then everyone in the cinema shoots themselves.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, other games, promising games. Another CD Projekt Red title that looks
Cyberpunk
great.
Summer, let's go. It's coming to the PC as well. Summertime. Actually, I just saw a tweet about that while we were doing the podcast. Tweet something to the screen.
Summertime? Is it summertime?
Yeah, they might have announced the release date.
What, just now? Ooh. So breaking news.
Cyberpunk stealth action RPG. Oh no, Disjunction arrives this summer.
Retract previous statement.
Retract that. The dystopian underworld cyberpunk action RPG Disjunction will launch on Steam this summer. I assume that's a spin-off. Come on, got me all excited. Right, I don't know when it's released.
Now that is a story-driven game which looks awesome. Well, no, just Cyberpunk.
Oh fuck yeah! The Disjunction, for anyone that doesn't know, is like a top-down RPG. It's like pixelated, kind of like Hotline Miami.
Oh, okay.
You ever played that or heard of that? Similar to that.
So, yeah.
But Cyberpunk does look... I don't know actually, the gameplay. I remember discussing the gameplay back in that podcast all that time ago. I'm excited for it, but I'm apprehensive, and I'm not going to jump on that hype train just yet for Cyberpunk because of the combat that I've seen so far.
Well, they've got time. They've already taken 6 years to develop it up until this point, so...
Yeah, they also took 6 years to develop Final Fantasy 15, and that was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was good, but it wasn't Game of the Year.
Well,
Kingdom Hearts 3, I don't know when that comes out, but I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. Again, that's one that has been in development for so damn long. It's nuts. Yeah. Shit, 25th of January! Where have I been? What am I doing with my life?
What have we just seen?
It's out in 6 days.
Ooh.
25th of January.
You need to keep up.
Fuck, I'm streaming that. Let's go. Jeez, you have no idea how much I played that game when I was younger. Well, Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2. That is my shit.
There you go. Get a stream
Donald
go.
Duck, Goofy. Fuck me, man. That's where you get proper sophistication in storytelling. It's when you throw Donald Duck and Goofy into every cutscene.
That's it. Goofy for the win.
In all honesty, I hope it's going to be good. I'm not particularly confident it will be wonderful, but
I always thought the premise of those games was crazy. Like, how did Final Fantasy and Disney get together?
What you fucking describe it to me. Let's just take a very mature, sophisticated and
Japanese
complex
RPG
series of games and combine them with a load of kids. Well, they're not kids, they are fairly mature, some of them, but a load of kids' films. Jam them together. So. And you're wielding a giant key and hitting blobs of darkness. Who thought of this?
I want to know. It sells.
It was good. It is good. I'm glad that they're doing another main game. I think something that's going on a lot at the moment and that I hate is this whole offshoot. And let's develop it on another platform.
Yeah.
Let's take advantage of the Switch and my mobile game, and let's make a PS Vita game, and then let's make
a game for service, or get a service game or whatever it's. Just.
Yeah, Bethesda are the worst for it. Fucking Skyrim.
Game developers and publishers just need to do just that. They need to release.
Do we have a Skyrim mobile version yet?
What was that?
Do we have a Skyrim mobile game yet? Because if we don't, we should.
I'm
telling you, Bethesda, everyone would buy that. Fallout 76, the point-and-click adventure.
That'll probably actually be better than Fallout 76.
I'm not gonna lie, I agree with you there.
You need to be hired. You need to be running from Bethesda. Well, another release that is creeping up, and I just wondered just now if you've seen any more gameplay on it, because they have released more like story trailers and gameplay trailers since we last talked about it, and I just wanted to know if you're still past it, or you're back on the hype bandwagon, and that is Days Gone.
I would have fell off the
bandwagon for that at this point.
I'm over that game, yeah. I've already moved on.
You've already.
It looks awful unless they've changed some fundamentals of the game.
Well,
it's not gonna be.
In the most recent trailers for it that PlayStation released, they do show that scene or that situation where you're running from a huge pack of those freaker zombies.
Does it look better than it did before? The game.
I'm not sure if they over cinemized it, but I don't know. It looks like the original reveal before they started to operate on.
Before they
killed all the hype.
Okay, well I'll have to take a look at it, and if it's decent, I'll probably write an article on Days Gone is back. It's back on the menu, boys. Let's go. But I'll have to check it out and see that. If they've removed things like damage numbers, stuff that just breaks your immersion in the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if it starts like multipliers on zombies.
Yeah, you get like combo. You got like a rage bar filling up at the bottom. You fill the rage bar, get out a minigun. Oh, multi-kill! Yeah, can we not? I like and I think the one thing that they shouldn't ever do is let you fight hard. I don't know why you should be able to kill.
You should be able to like run away and like take a few shots on it, but then just keep running and just.
You shouldn't be able to kill all of them. There should be no like, I'm just gonna fire an RPG and half of them are gonna die.
No, what I'm saying is like, if you accidentally stumble into a horde, you should be able to slow them down a little bit, so you can get out of there.
Yeah, I mean, you should have to fight them, but you shouldn't ever be able to beat them. Because if you can beat a horde, an individual zombie means nothing, and that's when the game becomes terrible. Because they originally advertised it as like an apocalyptic world where you're scavenging, you're trying to survive, you're always on the edge of death. That's not the case.
If you can just kill the whole of the
You're not having to conserve ammo. I want you to have to conserve supplies and conserve ammo. And what it looks like they did in the past trailers was they did that at the start of the game. But as you got to the end, you were able to just mow down an entire horde. But I see where they're going with that. They want to make you feel like you're progressing, but I think if at any point you can take on the massive horde,
it kills it.
Kind of kills it, unless you do it during like a set piece of the game or something like that. And even then, it'd make it feel cheap. But
yeah, like you say, it'll just completely remove all tension and apprehension about encountering zombies. You'll just feel.
Which I know is not what they're going for. They're not doing like a Resi horror style.
Well, to me, to
make it feel like a survival.
I got like an open world Last of Us vibe originally, where it's like you're in a bleak world. You're not overpowered. You have to run away from these enemies. And then the more we got, the less confident I became in it, like you. But
which is what made Last of Us so good. You never could just take out all of the zombies and not give a shit. You would always be at a chance of dying, and even when fighting the people, you had the same issue.
Yeah.
And that builds on the atmosphere. That's what makes the story feel the way it does. People forget that if you chain together all of the cutscenes of Last of Us, it wouldn't be anywhere near as good as actually playing it. And that's the difference between a game and a movie. You feel like you're in there, you're experiencing the atmosphere firsthand, and your actions are what cause you to feel the way that you do, and the way that the environment reacts to your actions.
Well, it makes you feel like a part of the actual game, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you get more immersed, and that's where the story picks up from your viewing, you're passively interacting, to you're actively interacting, and that's the point of the video.
Well, out of the 2 zombie games, I'm definitely more hyped for Resi 2, put it that way.
Yeah. Definitely, massively. I agree with you there on so many levels.
Yeah.
So I hope that delivers. Otherwise, I will be very sad.
Well,
same with Kingdom Hearts.
Days Gone's out in April.
Yeah.
But whether or not.
When's Resi 2 out?
What's it?
When's Resi 2 out?
Resi 2 is out. I'll get an exact date for you.
And everyone listening.
Not the original, guys.
When did Resi 2 come out? February 1998.
Oh, damn.
Is it not confirmed yet?
It says initial release 25th of January 2019.
Nah.
I didn't think so.
Nah. Let me check this. I mean, it says that. Oh, dude, we have such a good initial year lined up.
Oh yeah, it's starting strong.
Fucking Devil May Cry 5. 8th of March.
Oh, it's starting strong.
Is it actually 25th of January? 6 days!
6 days till Resi.
6 days! Oh boy. Oh, what am I going to do with myself? Resident Evil 2 on 25th. Kingdom Hearts 3 on the 29th. I'm going to finish Resident Evil 2 in 4 days. And then, obviously it's of no significance to you, but League of Legends, the ranked season starts on the 24th or the 26th or something, which is when you play the game.
Stop releasing games.
What am I meant to do? Stop releasing good games. Why did you not do this at the end of 2018 when I was depressed and laid in bed because there was no game?
Well then, moving into summer, we get Crash Team Racing. Oh yeah. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait for Crash Team Racing.
Do you ever play Crash Bash? That shit. Is it going to be like that, or is it circuit based? Like around racing circuits and such? I hope they have
Crash Team Racing is just going to be a remaster of the original. It's just all going to be racing.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought it might have been a new game. So it's a So it's a remaster of the original. Yeah. Is it? No.
But I can't wait because it's my favourite Crash game.
Yeah.
I love Crash Team Racing. So definitely a good start to the year, I'd say. Good games. Good games on the horizon.
I did not realise. This podcast has made me very happy. I did not know all of these things would be coming out in such short and quick succession.
There you go.
I can go to sleep a happy man today.
So we can end with smiles on our faces.
Yeah, let's not cry about microtransactions. Watch, we'll start playing like Kingdom Hearts 3 and there'll be microtransactions to unlock each chapter of the story.
God.
Or like microtransactions in Resi 2. You'll like open the game, you'll see a new game, continue, which is greyed out, options, loot boxes.
Loot boxes.
Loot box store.
Please no.
And then you like go, and then the first thing that pops up when you say new game is you have been given 3 free loot boxes.
And you're like, no!
You open them up, it's like a pistol skin, Leon with a mohawk instead of a normal haircut, and then you've got Claire Redfield doing the floss dance. And that's like...
Well, one thing that is a bit apprehensive, like, I'm so mega hyped for Crash Team Racing, but who owns the rights to Crash Bandicoot at the minute? It's Activision.
Is it not Naughty Dog? Thank God it's just a remake. Surely they can't fuck that up too much.
That's fingers crossed. I think, from what I've seen, the core gameplay looks amazing, but I wouldn't put it past Activision to shoehorn some microtransactions in there somehow.
I want Naughty Dog to make another...
They'll never get the rights back.
If they could make a Crash Bash, I would be the happiest.
Unless Activision collabs with them and lets them develop it for them, kind of thing.
Which I'd be alright with, as long as they did.
Well, to be fair, these smaller studios that Activision have been getting to develop their recent remakes have been putting in quite a decent effort, to be honest. I think Vicarious Visions did the original Crash trilogy remaster, and then Toys for Bob did Spyro Reignited. So,
which was
exactly. So you know, just
what else are you looking forward to this year, mate? That you don't know. You don't have to know when it comes out, but things like Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Is that going to come out this year? Is it going to come out next year?
Death Stranding's been a weird one because we've always been completely on the hype bandwagon. It's Hideo Kojima, and then it seemed to die a little bit. But
the gameplay
in recent news
looks very strange.
Yeah, in recent news, it's promising because Guerrilla Games, the people who made Killzone and Horizon Zero Dawn, they got to see an early build. They went to Kojima Productions and they got to see an early build, and apparently the news stories coming out of that is that everybody at Guerrilla Games was left speechless. So make
dream
what you will, it could be a Hideo.
We can wonder if they were bribed or not, but
we could have a potential masterpiece on the cards.
There's a few potential masterpieces.
Well, I mean, coming out closer, I think the only other game that I'm really hyped for, which it's another one in February, so you know, got to get completing games quick. It's Metro Exodus.
Yeah, you said about that one. That's a game that I will play and I will enjoy it, but it's not going to be a masterpiece. I don't think it'll be a good game, but you need games that aren't masterpieces that are it'll be a decent. You just need good games to fill the void. Like we've got enough Battle Royale. No. And another issue is people always trying to make masterpieces as well and trying to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Just put 4 fucking wheels on a chassis and call it a fucking car. Yeah. Like we need good cars as well as someone inventing a plane.
Yeah, exactly. You know? But I mean, the previous one was great, and I mean it blends survival horror with FPS, so it's a good time. The previous games have been good.
I'm looking forward to it. RPG wise, Kingdom Hearts 3, decent. Cyberpunk, looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to that. Hopefully, again, a bit skeptical when it comes to that. I remember the combat. The combat was very bullet sponge on some of the enemies, and that's not something I'm particularly fond of. Things like the Division.
Oh, the Division was, from what I played, it was that was all it was. It was like artificial difficulty. It's like all we're gonna do is give you the exact same enemy, but he's now instead of level 10, he's level 50, and he takes 1,000,000 bullets to kill.
I think it'd be much better than that, but you're gonna have to stream all of these games then.
Hopefully Capcom will let me stream Resident Evil 2 when it releases.
Yeah, I get why they didn't with the demo because it's like a 30 minute.
Yeah.
No one else watches.
It's just you,
But they will in the actual game. I can't imagine they'd block it.
That makes sense, really.
Yeah. So hopefully getting up to some streams of all these games.
But it's looking promising.
I'm going to try and make some YouTube videos of them as well.
2019's looking promising. Fingers crossed.
Much better than 2018. Start of 2018, I remember looking at the release list and going, am I even a gamer anymore? Should I just go watch football? Like, I don't like football, but at least they have matches every year.
Yeah, so, I mean, more of Resident Evil 2, less of Fortnite Battle Royale, less of Fallout 76 and the Quiet Man and garbage like that. Can we
not talk about the Quiet Man?
Can we just get rid of those games and just have decent titles that we know are going to be good as well? Like, I'm getting a bit tired of having to second guess whether or not an already established franchise is going to be good. Like, it should be good.
Again, because they're all trying to reinvent the wheel.
But like I say,
I just want...
Resident Evil seems to have dragged itself out of the mud now, so I'm definitely looking forward to that.
7 was its redemption. I still remember the E3 conference, watching that reveal and the look on everyone's faces when this trailer, this suspicious, mysterious,
looks nothing like a
horror
Resident Evil game.
And then this guy in a wheelchair goes, and it's like Resident Evil, and everyone's like, holy shit, whoa!
It was a great game. But no, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm apprehensive, but it's looking like a good start.
I'm gonna say, if the demo is good for the 30 minutes, you know it's going to be a decent game. You know it's going to be good. Whether they can maintain that level of tension for the rest of the game remains to be seen. But I remember at the end of most Resident Evils, you have a similar sort of countdown where you press like a button and there's a bomb, right?
Yeah.
I remember it happened at the end of Resi 3, I think it was. You press a button and you have a certain amount of time to get somewhere before a nuke.
Yeah, well, it's the same. It's the same in the first game. You've got like a countdown to reach the roof.
Yeah, they always do that at the end. So it's good because they've taken that, which is always one of the best bits of the game, one of the most anxious bits, and brought it into current times. You know, brought it into the start of the game.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, I think if I had to say a couple of games that I want to come out, like given this whole new kind of revival, I'm always going to say Bloodborne 2. Like, the first game was amazing. I just want to play Bloodborne again. But
new enemies, new bosses.
But
same game.
And just take Resident Evil 7 as an example. Dino Crisis.
I'm speechless.
Yeah. See, I need to work at a game studio.
Dino Crisis.
If they made
that would be harder.
Yeah. If they made a Dino Crisis like Resident Evil 7 with the same atmosphere and tension, but it's just dinosaurs, like that'd be cool.
That's harder to do. I think one of the reasons that worked before was because of the level of graphics. You could make the dinosaurs look.
They were still terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's harder with the current level of graphics to make them terrifying, if that makes any sense, because they almost seem too animal-like. I don't know how to explain it, but when I imagine like a high-res dinosaur, because of Jurassic Park and things, it seems... I wasn't scared of any of the raptors or anything in Jurassic World.
When it's all pixelated and they look like monsters.
Yeah, then I think for some reason it's more kind of horror-inducing.
I think
in the original Jurassic Park it was scary as well.
I think they could do it if they brought in elements like from Resident Evil 7 where there's that constant threat. You're not constantly bombarded with dinosaurs, but there's the threat there.
Yeah.
Just build the suspense that way.
Kind of like Alien.
Yeah. Kind of like Alien, yeah.
Where you can't kill it,
but it's hunting you.
They could do that. They could do that with Dino Crisis. You could do that with like a T-Rex or something like that. That'd be pretty freaky. But yeah, that'd be difficult to do, but that'd be amazing if they did that. I'm imagining it now, like the raptors are the creepy little enemies, and then you've just got this fucking giant T-Rex that you barely ever see if they do it right. but you know that it's there, and you're like walking along the second floor of the building, and you just hear like,
yeah. It'd be awesome. It would be good.
And then you just see this shadow in the window, and that they need to like build it like that, and slowly but surely. And if you do something wrong, it fucking dives through and noms your face.
Well, that's another Capcom game. So if Capcom's listening and they want me and Joe to work on the Dino Crisis game for them, just yes.
Like we're definite wonderful game theorists and developers. Just saying.
Right. Well, we could do the whole concept. We've got.
Yeah. Well, we'll draw it out in pretty pictures.
Exactly. We've already just discussed how to do it.
We just fleshed that out a bit more, man, and then we can go with our proposal to Capcom. Hey guys, we have a multi-million-pound idea for you here.
Dino Crisis.
Billions if you do it right. Dino Crisis, but you never see the dinosaurs.
Money.
Hey. You just die to them.
So yeah.
I was watching a video on how Dead Space was made the other day.
People are saying it's one of the most underrated modern horror games ever.
It's really, really fucking good. And the amount of effort that went into that. So, you know the death scenes in Dead Space where you can die in so many different ways? And it plays it out, and it's like 20 seconds of them tearing you to pieces. That's because your character's treated the same as them, and they put dismemberment in. So they made it like a random generation. So the enemy doesn't just kill you and it's a set animation. It's just like you are ragdolled, you're hanging in the air, and the enemy can do whatever it wants to you, and it just randomly like cuts pieces of you off and then does what it wants. More games should do that kind of thing. That variety is what made, again, Dead Space a really good horror game. And they did things like horror game enemy generation is really important, where the enemy spawns. In Dead Space, they had multiple vents in each room, and the enemy could spawn from any one of those vents
to catch you off.
So you'd know that like something was going to come in that room, but you didn't know where. So it was always, no matter how many times you played the game, freaky. I don't know how you do that kind of thing in Resident Evil, but if you can get more of that kind of thing in horror games.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was, I couldn't say for sure, but playing through the Resident Evil 2 demo, again, just going back to it, there's parts where like you'd walk past a window, which was fine, but then you'd walk past it again another time and a zombie would be standing there like bashing against it and then would actually break through it and come in.
Yeah, that's also a really good thing to do in horror games.
So like, it's catch you out a little bit.
Yeah, it's like Silent Hill, that kind of thing where you come back to an area and everything's changed. So that just fucks with you. That fucks with your head.
You think you're in a safe space and it just disappears.
Yeah, imagine in a Resi game going back to a safe room and it's not a safe room.
Yeah.
It's been like torn to pieces by a load of zombies or something. No longer in a safe room.
Yeah, that'd definitely that'd mess you up.
Yeah, you'd be like, where's safe? Where can I go? I'd love if they did that as part of the game where all of the safe rooms just suddenly were no longer safe. You know, like as part of the game, it just goes, you're fucked. It's just like you can't go anywhere. There's no safe room. You've got to do something to like fix it, but you don't know what that is. You got to figure out what it is. It doesn't like if they just told you, go here, your safe rooms will be fixed. It'd be fine. You wouldn't worry. They should fuck all the safe rooms and not tell you how to fix it. You got to figure out why.
Yeah.
Maybe Wesker's taking all your typewriter ink or something.
Not Wesker.
Yeah, the typewriter thief.
He's back again.
Comes along and nips all the ribbons. No! Can't save! Wesker!
Yeah, well, if you want to check out any of the more recent reviews that we've been talking about, like Spider-Man or Red Dead, they're on the site now. Tryrolling.com is the place to go. We will be streaming more often. Joe's going to be streaming today, I believe.
A few hours time.
So,
streaming today.
Well,
I'll be getting ready for all of these new games.
Exactly, stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Yes. Thank you, and have a good rest of the year, because we probably won't see you until 2020.